back with some more If My Heart Had Wings. I know it's been about a week or two since my last upload, but we are going to fix that today. I am planning to read through maybe the next chapter and one beyond, just to see how much more we have to go through this visual novel until we get the first actual choice in this romance visual novel. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and get into this mode. And we're gonna start off with this really bizarre comment here, which we left off with last time. Just because it's summer, says he buddy. So you mustn't go to sleep with your stomach exposed. You'll catch a cold. And Kotori is wearing the same kind of face that I would be wearing. That is just awkward.
ちゃんと歯を磨いて1日1回3回お姉ちゃんにメールして
Oh no. Make sure you brush your teeth and send me a text once a day. No, 3 times a day. Oh my goodness, can you say smothering, controlling, anxiety-inducing?
わかったから
I've got it, okay? I don't blame you, Kotori. I would be feeling the same way.
水瀬さん
Aoi? Oh, Lord. And ladies. Lords and ladies, what is she gonna say? Aoi, please look after her and make sure she does what she promised me she would do. If that's where this is going, I'm going to be thoroughly grossed out. Yes.
どうか小鳥ちゃんのことよ
Oh,
ろしく
stop
お願い
it.
します
Please take good care of Kotori. Wow. And we are entrusting Aoi to her. Why? Okay. Sure, leave it to me. So, if you lords and ladies don't know, I've had a problematic relationship with this visual novel ever since I started reading it back in February. And in the last episode of this that we did, the last chapter I went through, there were tons of problematic things that were just glossed over, and the visual novel seems to be saying, yep, no problem here. He's an absolute gem of a guy. I thought I sounded a little arrogant, but I answered as the dorm mother and Kotori's friend.
じゃあね小鳥
See
ちゃ
you,
ん
Kotori.
何
If
かあったら
anything
すぐお姉ちゃん
happens,
に知
call
ら
me
せる
straight
の
away. You mean like all the problematic ways that he's been with her before and that she just admitted to you that he was doing the night before, but you brushed off and were like, oh, you're having such a good time. You mean things like that? That she was trying to warn you about? And yet you're asking her to call you straight away. Okay. Worried about her sister until the end, Hibari got in the car and left. Today is Monday, the start of the week, and it looks like she's going straight to work. She came here in her own car, and apparently her workplace and her house are about an hour away. Yeah, because otherwise, if she were this smothering of an older sister, she would be here all the time. And you probably wouldn't have gotten hired as the dorm mother, quote unquote. Ugh.
ひばり姉に2泊されると疲れるわ
I don't blame her. Hibari stayed for 2 nights, so I'm worn out. Please, Aoi, don't be a giant loser right now. She's a good sister, isn't she? Well, at least you weren't completely rude.
それは認めるけ
Yes,
ど
I realize that. I
いい加減
just want her to know
妹
when
番
to
にしてほ
leave
しい
me
も
by
んだわ
myself. Would Kotori be able to leave her sister alone? I don't know if the visual novel meant to have that there or Hibari. Okay then, shall we go to school now?
であるからして、つまりこの場合、
Well, this is actually the first bit of dialogue we've bothered to have from a teacher. Therefore, that is to say, this situation. In the 6th lesson of the day, I felt restless. When this finishes, school is done for the day. In other words, it's time for club activities. Yesterday was Sunday, and the club takes a day off. I was told that my pilot training would start today, so I couldn't stop myself from feeling like I was itching to go. Wow, and you are still of the mindset of telling Kotori, oh, it's okay, even though you can't do it, even though you said you really wanted to, and I tried to give you this paltry way of making you feel better by saying you're gonna be the first one I take up in the glider. I'm gonna just go ahead and say how excited I am about this. When really, like, if I were being a good protagonist, if I were being a good love interest, and everything, I might be trying to think about how to make this more accessible for Kotori. I might be thinking about her feelings and whatnot. At least that's what I would do as the writer if I were ever hired to rewrite something like this.
ここ、期末の範囲内だからな。しっかりノートを取っとけよ。
This is covered in the end of term test, so make good notes. The teacher's laid-back way of speaking actually makes me feel even more annoyed. While I stare at the clock on the wall at the back of the classroom, I wait for time to pass. It rang, the bell rang, yay.
じゃあ、
Okay.
今日はここまで。今日のところ期末に出るから、しっかり復習しとけよ。
That's all for today. The things we studied today will be in the end of term test, so make sure to review it. The teacher repeats the contents of the lesson before the class chairperson gives the order to stand, then bow. See ya, teach. Wow. Kind of a delinquent, aren't we?
廊下
Yeah,
走る
don't
な。
run in the hallway. As I go into the hallway, Kotori, whose seat is near the doorway, is already outside on standby. Well, that's a cool detail, I'll have to admit. Not the fact that she is waiting for him, but that she actually has a seat or a place in the classroom that is near the door. That's kind of like me IRL in all of my classes when I went to college and high school and everything. I always had a position in the classroom quite like that, mostly for access, but also so that I had room to fit in my assist device and the special table that I needed in order to get up to my work surface.
遅い
You took your time? I can't do much about that. My seat's next to the window.
さあ行くわよ
Okay, let's go. Again, I still don't know what I feel about them being this chummy and like waiting on each other and being all this kind of way after what we just went through in the last chapter and the chapter before that. And I hate to have the attitude of like, well, Tiffy, maybe you should just forget about what happened. Maybe you should just treat this as its own little thing now and forget all that problematic stuff. I wish I could do that. But if I did that, I wouldn't really be giving this a scholarly or a deep read. I feel like I would just be cherry picking. and I would just be forcing this to be a better dialogue in my head than it actually is. But as long as he doesn't do anything more that's gonna make him look like a jackass, I might at least evaluate these parts a little bit more fairly. But let me tell you, lords and ladies, every time he does something that's gonna be shitty, or if it is shitty, I'm gonna be starting back from the beginning. So if he can actually go a single chapter in this visual novel without making a complete ass of himself, I might be able to give him some points, and I might be able to evaluate the story for what it is doing well. Hold on, Ageha's not here yet. Who cares? This better be where we get our first choice. Because I would love to make the choice to just leave without Ageha. We looked into the classroom where Ageha was surrounded by several girls talking to them about something.
だからここ
That's
は
why this is... It looks like there was something in class, in the lesson just now, that they didn't understand, and they were asking her about it. They make a big deal about grades at this school. Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me, seeing as this is a pretty well-to-do, well-off place of learning. If you fail in any subjects, it's possible that you have to repeat the year. So let me guess, Amane keeps failing classes so she can repeat the year. It's not like Ageha's grades are anything special, but for certain specialized subjects, she is usually near the top of the rankings. That's why just before the end of term exams, her friends go to her for help. Sounds like this, Tiffy. IRL. In high school and college, I was the little scholarly tiefling that everyone sought out for help with studying and classwork before Dead Week. Hey, Ageha.
葵ちょっと待っててもうすぐ終
Oh,
わるから
Aoi. Hang on, I'll soon be finished. Ageha waves through a gap in the wall of girls surrounding her.
ねえ葵くん
Hey, Aoi? She said it would just take a little longer.
そ
Oh well,
Joe,
then let's go on
先行ってま
ahead.
しょうよ
Please let this be where we get the choice to decide to leave before she's ready, instead of Aoi just being like, oh no, Kotori, we have to wait for her. I want to make a choice. But she asked us to wait for her. So,
どうせ向こうで一緒になるんだからいいじゃない
we'll see her over there anyway, so it's fine, isn't it? Exactly. Yes! Yes! Goddess bliss! Goddess bliss! Our first choice! And how many hours have we been reading this visual novel? About 30? Our first choice. We are going to go ahead with Kotori, because she is best girl. So we make that choice, but then it says, let's wait a little longer. Anyway, I'll just hang on for now.
そうじゃあ私は先に行くから
Oh, well, then I'm going on ahead. Kotori said it with a composed face, and I really did go on ahead. Okay, so we decided to go on ahead with Kotori. So that's really nice that they actually allow her to move her chair, because after everything I've been through with this visual novel so far, I was expecting him, not gonna lie, I was gonna be prepared for Aoi to reach out and grab her chair and be like, nope, nope, nope. We can't go anywhere yet. But he actually didn't do anything like that this time. So I guess when we made the choice to go on ahead with Kotori, he can't intervene like that and try to make something else be the case. Now, if only the creators of this visual novel had let Kotori have that amount of autonomy, even when there were not these game-changing, quote, choices to make. It can't be helped, so I give Ageha a quick shout before chasing after Kotori. We can wait for a little while, can't we? Aoi, if you want to wait, you can wait. Kotori doesn't have to wait on you waiting.
じゃあ
So
待てば
why
いいじゃな
don't
い。
you? Exactly, girl. Are you really that against going with Ageha? Dude, I don't think she's against going with Ageha. I think she's just ready to go. Because I think she can tell that Ageha is gonna be quite some time with that many classmates around them. Without realizing, I sound anxious as I ask. Anxious, huh? Okay.
嫌じゃないわよ。
I'm not against it.
でも
But I feel
なんか
kinda
緊張
nervous.
するんだもん。
I hope she brings up what I would love for her to bring up here. She would if I were in charge of writing this. This is exactly where, if I were writing some extra stuff into this visual novel, I would have her bring up the last engagement that the three of them had, in which, because Ageha was even next to Kotori, Aoi went off and karate chopped her, meaning Kotori, for saying or doing something to his childhood friend in a way that he didn't like. If it were me writing this, I would bring up that little bit of conversation here to resolve it.
気まずいっていうか、あの空気に耐えられないの。
Or should I say, I feel awkward. I just can't stand it. It always felt like Kotori had trouble knowing how to be around Ageha. Well, my man, my dude, it certainly didn't help that you reacted to Kotori and Ageha hashing out their issues the way that you did by doing something directly punitive to Kotori. So whatever anxiety she had around your childhood friend before this, you only exacerbated. Just saying. You always act so tough, but really you're a bag of nerves.
人のこと分析するのはやめて。
Stop analyzing me. And let me go ahead and do that for you, Aoi. You always act like you're so friendly and stuff, but you really are a jerk. Yeah. She always puts up a front and is wary of strangers. You think? I would honestly say she should probably still be wary of you. This also affected her in that when she came to this school, she never got used to being a part of the class. Oh my goddess, Aoi, would you stop your projection? You don't even know for your own self. You only know because Ageha told you that there was some issue with the other girls. And it's not her fault. It's not that she's not choosing to be integrated. It's that the other classmates are not making her feel welcome and not making her feel comfortable. And probably from the other experiences that she had at her other high school or her other college, if that's where she was going to before this, Those were not good experiences either, so cut her a break. It's not that she's just choosing to be antisocial.
そんなにあの子と一緒に行きたいならそうすればいいじゃない。
If you want to go with her that much, then why don't you do that?
私一人でも行
I
ける
can
もん。
go by
エレ
myself.
ベーターあるし。
There's an elevator. That's not what I'm saying. Stop crying. I don't think she's crying, but whatever.
泣いてなんて言いません。
What did I just say? Lords and ladies, what did I just say? Would you look at the level of projecting he's doing here? So while it's not as problematic as what he was doing before, he's doing a lot of these male behaviors where it's like, oh, stop crying, stop belly aching, stop whatever. And he's just labeling these behaviors. So I'm glad that she's calling it out. He better not say, oh, quit being so reactive or whatever, if he does. Really? That's good. Allie, maybe you should actually take a moment and step back and really realize that you don't know everything, and that just because you interpret something a certain way doesn't mean it's true.
葵くん、私のこと泣き虫だと思ってるでしょ。
Allie, you think I'm a crybaby, don't you? Ugh. Is that what we're gonna boil this down to? Oh, Kotori's a crybaby? No, I think she has a right to have her opinion. And I think she has a right to ask you why you're being so, caught up on your childhood friend and waiting for her. No, I don't.
ムカつく。
You're so annoying. I've annoyed her. Well, good, at least you've acknowledged that. Please don't do anything like putting your hands on her. Because remember, you did say, if you ever do something I don't like, karate chop, slap chop. Okay, so I guess you're cool with this? Or are you just not gonna do anything because you're at school and you might have witnesses? Kotori stops moving her wheelchair. Is she tired? Wow, Allie. Again with the assumptions. No. She could just be stopping her wheelchair because she's waiting on you. Also, it is quite fine and fair for a person in a wheelchair to stop moving and not suddenly have people think, oh, they need help. They could just want to stop for a minute. There we go, Allie. Good boy. Good boy. So why aren't we asking this every time we touch her chair? You want me to push you? Riders, this needs to be done every single time. Or they need to have a discussion in which Kotori says, if I give you a signal or if I ask you to, then you can. But we should not have had to sit through 5+ instances of him touching, moving, manipulating her chair without asking. That is one thing that should not have happened. But yay, Aoi, we're learning, aren't we? Kotori shook her head. Okay, now respect what she says, please.
私だって本当はあの子と仲良くしたいわよ。
I really want to get along with her.
でも
But I don't
や
know
り方が
how.
わからないんだもん。それに
And
多分
maybe she
私
really hates me.
もう嫌われてるだろうし。
And also, maybe what you did to me last time that I was around her made me feel really, really uncomfortable and really, really unsafe. I really think that this would have been as good a place as any in the visual novel to take a moment to address this. Because if I had some closure, if I had some acknowledgement by the narrative, then maybe I could move past that and start evaluating this without the rest of that clouding it. But that's why it's so important to get closure in narrative around certain things, especially when they're a little bit problematic or they're a bit shocking, right? But I don't think we're gonna get that here, and it makes me sad. Huh? Why do you think that? Because of the fight they had earlier, Aoi? The fight that you inserted yourself in. Or do you not remember that?
だってひどいこと言ったし、それにいつも態度悪いし。
Wow. Okay. So, lords and ladies, take a look at that. Remember way back when I was still streaming this on Twitch, casting this on Twitch, remember? And I said that I had a feeling that the writers or the dialogue, all of that was going to do an about face, and that in order to get over some of the problematic treatment that Kotori was facing, remember how I said that I could just feel it? That the visual novel was going to have Kotori put herself down and engage in this self-effacing type of behavior? Well, lords and ladies, we have it right here. I said such nasty things to her, and also, I have a bad attitude. This is exactly what I was hoping was not going to happen. Because, see, with that last line right there, I have a bad attitude, this is basically justifying every bit of problematic behavior on the part of both Aoi and Ageha, saying, well, it's not really bad, it was just her that was reacting badly to the situation, therefore we don't need to have these characters have any accountability or have any awareness. We're just gonna scoot this all on Kotori because she's the one with the moral and personality defect. Never mind that Aoi has some huge personality defects. And this also reads like someone who's been bullied and someone who's been told they have a bad attitude all their life. I personally don't see Kotori as having a bad attitude at all. I see her as having a believable and fair sort of personality type, given what she's been through and given the kind of person that I believe her to be. So this really just comes off as what I already said, which is the writers basically doing what they need to do to make it so that we don't have to deal with the really problematic stuff. And on the other hand, it just sounds like Kotori is spewing back out at Aoi what she's been told over and over again. And I also believe that she's telling him this just to make it even more clear that we're supposed to treat Kotori as the scapegoat, right? That she and her attitude are the source of all her problems, not the ableist, selfish, unconscious and uncaring behavior of those around her, right? If you realize that you have a bad attitude, why don't you do something about it? Same to you, buddy. Oh, but that's right. You don't see any problem with your attitude or anything that you've said or done, or anything that you say or believe about yourself or anyone else in this situation with a disability. So.
ねえ、どう思う？やっぱ嫌われてるかな？死んじゃえとか思われちゃってるかな？
Oof. That's very strong stuff. I don't know. why this was necessary, but I mean, I know it's probably intense to get a reaction, but seeing as we're dealing with a character who is a wheelchair user, who has a disability, like that last line, which I am gonna read, is very loaded. Because there's this concept that among the able-bodied people in a lot of cultures, across the realm, and in your realm as well, there seems to be this belief that a person or a being would be better off dead than disabled. So, like, the fact that they are going where they're going, where they say, what do you think? She hates me, doesn't she? She wishes I were dead, doesn't she? That's very intense. And I know enough Japanese to have heard that there was, the verb for death or dead in there. So that's a very extreme thing. Of course this is done so that Aoi goes, no, of course not. No one wishes that. So I guess it works, but woof, that's heavy. No, she doesn't. I simply stated that for the time being.
なんでそう言えるわけ？
How can you be so sure? Oh wait, 'cause she's my childhood friend. I've known her for a long time, so I know that much about her.
そうかしら。
Perhaps. She's so paranoid. Aoi, could you not judge her, please? You are so judgmental. Here, you like that? Kotori puts her hand on her chin and starts thinking.
どうすれば仲良くできるん
How
だろう。
can I get along better with her? Okay, so it's all Kotori's responsibility to be socially polite and socially available, right? In my opinion, if they're gonna have her do some of this work, some of the other characters need to be pulling their weight too, because otherwise, this just seems like what I've had to deal with in IRL. With people is like, oh, it's Tiffy's responsibility to be the one that gets along with everyone. It's Tiffy's responsibility to maintain relationships. Never mind that there are 2 or 3 or more people and individuals who are capable of maintaining a relationship too. Well, for example, yes, before going to club activities, if she says wait for me, why not wait for her? Fair enough, but I didn't think. Whatever. You went along too, so. Okay. So I guess because we're the little girl in the wheelchair who needs to be taught how to be more sociable, we're getting a lesson in social science, as far as this is concerned.
だって
But she didn't say that to me.
私に言ったんじゃないもの。
Because I'm the one who called out to her. Shall we go back to the classroom?
いや、いい。
No, it's fine. I agree with her. And Aoi, please don't badger her about this. If I were Kotori and I had already left, I don't think I'd really want to go back at this point. But I swear to Goddess, if you touch her chair and push her back there, I am going to lose... I am going to lose my composure.
今更戻るの。
See,
恥ずかしいもん。
I would feel the same way. If I went back now, I'd be embarrassed. She really did sound embarrassed as she spoke and then moved off in her wheelchair. Thank Goddess. So far, it doesn't look like he's touched it and pulled her back and said, no, if you want to be a good friend, Kotori, we gotta go back and go see my childhood friend. Please keep it that way. Sure, I'm worried about the delicate situation between the two of them, but keep your nose out of it. You see, it's between the two of them, not the three of you. Stay out of it. Wow, Aoi for once, being sensible. There's no need to rush things. Things like this take time, correct? And that goes the same way with your relationship with her. And everything like that, but no, you seem to not understand that when it comes to things with her and you. Friendship is something that grows slowly. You know what? I swear to Goddess, I don't even need to be in the office or in wherever when the person was doing all the writing for this. I can literally hear the writing lead or the team lead who was in charge of instructing the writer. I can literally hear them saying, "Writer-san, because we had so many problematic things in the last couple chapters, I need you to put in these feel-good platitudes. And I need you to do all these things to circumvent us having to actually deal with these things. Because we don't want to deal with our own problematic bullshit, and we just want to move on with a good story. So, writer-san, please do that for us." If there's anything I can do to help, then I will. But you should have thought of that before you just inserted yourself in their little argument. Sometimes people who actually want to be friends with each other have to hash their stuff out. And that's fine. But what doesn't work is for you to insert yourself in that drama and then, do a bunch of physical stuff. So if you really want to help out Aoi, stay out of it. How are we going to do the flight training? Once all of us second graders had gathered, I asked Amane. Ha, second graders is pretty accurate. I mean, I know that's not what they mean. They mean like college sophomores or something. But second graders is kind of a good descriptive, at least for Aoi. He's such a child. Amane has been playing around with a bundle of tangled PC cables, and we can only see her from the other side of the desk. By flying. Flying? Yeah, dude. How else did you think you were gonna get pilot experience? I imagined it would be something like doing weight training to build physical strength. No? But I still can't fly, can I? There's no way we can fly using those broken wings. Oh, symbolism. Could you move those boxes that are over there by the wall? As requested, I tidy away the boxes piled up against the wall of the garage. Whoa! There are piles of things, but I don't even know what they are. Since before Amane and the others started coming here, the garage has had many mysterious boxes and antique parts left inside. What's this? Why are a sword and spear in a place like this? Maybe it used to be the drama club space or storage for theater. I don't know. There are some nunchucks over here. There's a broken toy gun, too. Of course, the sword and the spear are well-made replicas. Don't care. As for the other things, if I had bought them, I would think, why the hell did I buy this? And would definitely regret buying them. And there are many things that look like souvenirs that were bought on school field trips. I could easily tell that the members of long ago made this garage their own.
できたわよ。
Finished! Yay! I don't know what Kotori did, but yay! Kotori!
よし。
Okay,
じゃあ
turn
電
off
気を
the
消してくれ。
lights. Okay. What we got? As the lights were turned off, the inside of the garage became pitch black. Amane was operating some kind of machine. Then on the wall, where all the boxes were before, a PC screen appears. Okay, so like projection on the wall.
プロジェクターだ。映画館みたい。
Like a movie theater, yay! Are we going to watch an instructional video?
葵くん、こっちへ来てくれ。
Aoi, could you come over here? Sitting down in the chair that Amane had prepared, I was handed a computer game controller. Okay, flight simulator, I guess. Well, then if that's the case, Kotori could have at least undergone pilot training if it were just going to be used with a flight simulator. So she could have at least taken the instruction course. She doesn't need to reach the rudder pedal for that. I'm a little miffed now. That part of the training would have been accessible to her. What are we doing?
だから飛ぶん
Like
だ
I
よ。
said, you're going to
こ
fly.
れ
This
は
is a
フライト
flight
シミュレーターだ。
simulator. Flight simulator? I've heard of them, but I'm not sure exactly what they are. They're games that simulate flight.
ゲームみたいなものだ。フライトを疑似体験できる。
It's like a computer game. It simulates the experience of flying.
実際に飛ばなくても、操作方法やグライダーで飛ぶ感覚はある程度身につけられるはずだ。
Then why didn't you let Kotori do this part? If you don't necessarily need to fly, but it's a way you can learn to control an aircraft, then why didn't you invite Kotori to learn this part? This part is accessible, Amane. Even if you don't actually fly, you can to some extent learn the controls and the feeling of flying a glider.
よくわかんないけど、なんだかすごそうね。
I don't really understand, but it sounds pretty good. And it sounds like something you could do, Kotori. I really hope you ask them to let you try it out.
市販のやつですか？
Is this commercially available?
いや、自
No,
分
I
で作
made
っ
it
た。
myself.
これは風ヶ浦の地形と我々のグライダーに特化したシミュレータだからな。
This is the topography of Kazegaura, and is a simulator specifically for our glider. Clever. Whoa, hand. Steady. At Amane's command, the screen changes. The town of Kazegaura, that we all know, shown as a landscape as viewed from the air, is projected onto the wall. This is shown in pretty CG that is at least on the level of cutscenes of RPGs on the latest consoles. Okay, so it's high def.
やっぱすごいよこの人。
She really is amazing. Ageha mumbles while looking at the screen being projected.
昨日のうちにデータは最
This
新の
was
ものにして
updated
おい
with
た
the
から、
latest data
よりリア
yesterday.
ルな感覚で飛べるはずだ。
You should be able to get a very realistic sense of flying. Okay, I show that I'm impressed with Amane's amazing work and get myself fired up. I think you should be inviting Kotori to try this out with you, honestly.
では始めるぞ。
Well then, let's begin. A glider modeled in CG appears on the
操
screen.
作を覚える
Before
前に
you learn the
グライ
controls,
ダ
I
ーの
will
動きについ
explain
て
the
説明
movements
する
of
ぞ。
the glider. Oh boy. Lords and ladies, here we go. I may or may not read all of this.
グライダーの運動は縦軸、横軸、垂直軸、 この3つの軸を回転する動きで説明できる。
The glider movements can be explained as rotation on 3 axes: longitude, lateral, and vertical.
まずはローリング。
First is rolling. I'm not gonna read that because all you lords and ladies are smart enough to read that yourselves.
次にピッチング。
Next is pitching.
そして最後はヨーイング。この3つがグライダーの基本的な動きだ。
These are the 3 basic movements of the glider. Do you understand? Yes, I think
グ
so.
ライダーがどんなに複雑なマニューバーを描いてるように見えても、実はこの3つの動作の組み合わせによるものなんだ。
No matter how complex the maneuvers made by the glider are, the truth is they are all combinations of these 3
だ
movements.
からパイロットは
That is why the
この
pilot
3つの
only
動
needs
きを
to know
操
how
作するだ
to
けでい
operate
い。
these 3 movements. I see, so the basics are quite simple then. Yes, simple enough for someone like you to learn. Kotori and Ageha are listening to the conversation and nodding along.
じゃあそれを踏まえた
Okay,
上
with
で
that in mind,
実際に
let's
操縦してみよ
actually
う。
try operating it. Oh, that's really bad on my eyes and my scry crystal. Amane selects the mode on the PC and the screen changes again. Okay, first person mode. The sky and the horizon are projected across
こ
the
れはコックピットから見た映像
Is
で
this
す
the
か？
view from the cockpit?
ああ、そうだ。
Mm-hmm.
こんな風に見えるんだ。
So this is what it looks like. The glider is already flying through the air, but because I'm used to video games, this feels incredibly slow. This doesn't really feel like it's moving forward at all,
離陸と着陸、
except for
特
takeoff
殊な
and
状況を
landing.
除いて
And
君が
some
操
other
作する
special
ものは
cases, there are
2つ。
two things you need to control:
操縦桿とラ
the
ダーペダ
yoke
ル。
and the rudder pedal. I've seen the cockpit many times, so I know about that. The yoke is the stick that comes out from between the pilot's legs. I've seen some scenes in movies where pilots are flying fighter planes, and the yoke is the thing that they are holding onto. It has a button on it, and if you push it, it launches missiles. Of course, the glider doesn't have anything like that. It's like the steering wheel in a car. Okay, so you actually know a little something, I guess. Then there are the right and left rudder pedals, one of each, that you push with
そ
your
れぞ
feet.
れコントローラーに対応している。
The controller
左のアナログ
corresponds
スティ
to
ックが
each one.
操
The
縦
left
桿、
analog stick is the
LR
yoke,
ボタン
the
が
L
ラダ
and
ーペダ
R
ル。
buttons are the rudder pedals. Again, something Kotori could have done. If this was the way you were gonna train him initially, you could have just let her fly. But no, you had to be all dramatic and bring up, oh, but you can't reach the rudder pedals and all that. It's a little slow, but the field of vision in the center of the screen swings around. Whoa!
無茶をするとストー
If
ル
you
して
get
墜落する
careless,
か
it
ら
will
気をつけ
stall
ろ。
and fall to the ground, so watch out. Oh, okay.
操縦桿だが、
First is the
これ
yoke.
は
This
さっき
controls
説明した3つ
two
のう
of
ち
the three
2つ。
movements that I
ロー
explained
リン
just
グ
now.
とピッチングを操作できる。
Rolling and pitching.
左右に倒せば、
If you move it
その
left
方
and
向
right,
に
the
機体がロール
fuselage
する。
will roll in that direction. It's a little slow, but the aircraft responds. Yeah, okay. The horizon in the middle of the screen leans to the right.
操
Yes,
縦桿を
yes, yes.
倒すと、どうして機体が傾くの？
What makes the aircraft lean when you move the yoke?
いい質問だ。それ
It's
は
because
操縦桿でエルロンを操作しているからだ。
Controls the ailerons.
エルロン
Ailerons. It's like Kotori has a big question mark on her face as she hears that unfamiliar word. Same here. So Kotori and I are in the same boat, but I think we've heard this before in the visual novel.
主翼についている補助翼のことだ。
They are wings fitted to the main wings. Okay, so the things that will actually help shift the position.
主翼の外側の後ろについていて、操縦桿を左に倒
They
せ
are
ば
attached to the
左
outside
翼のエ
rear
ルロ
of
ン
the
が
main
上がり、
wings, and if
右
you
翼
move
の
the
エルロン
yoke
が下が
left,
る。
the left wing's aileron is raised and the right wing's aileron is lowered. And I'm probably butchering that, but it is what it
そうす
is.
ると左翼の
When
揚
that
力が
happens,
減少。
lift on the
逆
left
に
wing is
右翼の揚
reduced,
力は増
while
大
the
するか
lift
ら
on the right wing
機体
is
は左
increased,
に
and the
バンク。
aircraft
つ
banks,
まり
in other
傾い
words,
て旋回をする。
leans by rotating to the left. Leaning and turning, huh? It's the same as a bicycle. Really, dude? Again. I mean, I may not know some of these words, but if you're comparing it to your bicycle, it shouldn't really be that surprising. Also, considering you guys have been reading some things in your club, that really shouldn't be a surprise. A bicycle has a handlebar, but if you don't turn by moving it left and right, you turn by leaning the bike.
操縦桿を使ったもう一つの操作、ピッチングについてだが、
There is one more movement that can be made with the yoke, and that is
ピ
pitching.
ッチングとは、要
In
は
short,
機
it's
首を
moving
上
the
げ下げ
nose up
て
and
操
down.
縦桿を後ろに
If
引
you
けば
put the yoke
頭が
back,
上がり、
then the nose goes
前
up,
に
and
倒せ
pushing
ば
it
下がる。
forward makes it go down. I tried pushing the yoke forward. Whoa! The screen moves, and the percentage of the screen filled with the ground increases. The aircraft points downwards, and I feel a much greater sense
機
of
首を
speed.
下に向けると機体
By
は下降
pointing
し
the
てい
nose
くが、
down, the
その
aircraft
分
drops,
速度が増す。
but the speed also increases. I see. I imagine it sliding down on the air. This time I tried pulling the yoke back. Yes, lords and ladies, that was a yawn, and I'm not going to do anything about it. Again, this whole thing is something that Kotori could have been invited to do. At least this part. She better ask to try her hand at it. I was no longer able to see the horizon. It felt like I was floating, and I realized the speed was dropping.
これはどうやって操作しているの？またさっきのエルロン？
How is this controlled with the ailerons you told us about just now?
いや違う。
No, it
以前
isn't.
紙飛
Before
行機
we
で
did
実験しただろ。
experiments with paper airplanes,
機
didn't
体
we?
の上下の動きを
The
制御
thing
し
that
ていたの
controls the
は、
up and down movement of the aircraft is when Kotori was playing around with the tails on the paper airplanes, she made one do a beautiful loop-the-loop.
あ、水平尾翼。
Oh, the horizontal tail plane. Amani nods her head as if to say,
ピ
well
ッチン
done.
グ。つまり上下の動きは水平尾翼に
In
つい
other
た
words,
エ
the
レ
up
ベー
and
タと
down
いう
movements
舵
are
で操作
controlled
する。
with a rudder called an elevator attached to the horizontal tail plane. We've heard of an elevator before, of course. But this was different from the type that goes up and down buildings. Wow! Really? You think? You think they're not the same thing? Okay.
通常機首を上げれば揚力は高まる。
Usually, raising the nose increases lift. In other words, the aircraft will
だが
rise.
上げすぎる
However,
と
if it
逆
is
に揚
raised
力
too
を
much,
失う
it
こ
will
とになる。
lose lift instead.
気流が翼
The
面に沿って
airflow will
流れ
no
ることが
longer
で
be
きな
able
くな
to
り剥離して
move
しまう
along
から
the
だ。
wings, and it will break away.
この現象をストールという。揚力を失うとどうなるかは説明
This
するまでもない
phenomenon
な。
is known as a stall. I don't need to explain what happens if you lose lift. You can't fly if there's no lift, and it will inevitably fall.
そうなったらもう落ちるしか
If
ないん
that
ですか？
happens, there's nothing to do but fall?
いや、立て直すことは可能だ。
No, it is possible to straighten it
ス
out.
トールはどんな時にも起こり得るか
A
ら、
stall can
ス
occur
ト
at
ール
any
からの
time,
回
so
復
it is
訓練は
necessary
し
to
っかり積んでおく必要があ
undergo
る。
stall recovery training. Okay. When it is suggesting that falling is a possibility, I find it hard to breathe. When you're flying through the air, even a tiny mistake can cost you your life.
試しに一度落ちてみ
Shall
よ
we
うか。
try dropping? Huh? Amane pulls back hard on the analog stick. The nose points further and further forward, and then
臨界無改革を超えた。
it has exceeded the
Stalled
critical
したぞ。
angle. It is stalled. Wow! The aircraft stopped moving as if it was floating, and then the next moment the screen started spinning like crazy as it began hurtling toward the ground. Wow.
ゲームオーバーって。とまあこんな感じだ。
Well, that's what it's
訓
like.
練ではわざとストールやスピ
In
ンを起こ
training,
して
stalls
そこ
and
から
spins
回
are
復する
caused
練
on
習をするんだ。
purpose. Then recoveries are
実
practiced.
際に空でやると怖いぞ。
Actually, doing
Sino
that
ka
in the
to
air
umano?
is really scary. You'll think that you're going to die. If you're scared of heights, maybe that really is true. Because of how well the simulation is made, I got a powerful enough impression just from the graphics. Amane selects the mode, and once again we start flying.
で、次は
Okay,
ラダ
next
ー
is
ペ
the
ダル。
rudder pedal. In the simulator, this is controlled with the L and R
これ
buttons,
は
yeah,
ラ
yeah.
ダーを操作するわけだが、
Which is known as
ラ
the
ダーと
directional
は日
rudder.
本語
It
で
is attached to
こう
the
だという
vertical tail plane.
垂直尾翼について右を踏めば機種が右を向き、
If you
左を
press
踏め
right, it
ば
moves
機種が
right. If
左
you
を向
push
く。
left, it moves
ロー
left.
イングの動きを制
This
御するんだ。
controls yawing.
横を向くの？で
This
も
turns
曲
it
がるとき
sideways.
は
But
主
when
翼
you
について
turn,
るエレロンを使うんでしょ？
you use the ailerons on the wings, right?
エルロンだけで旋回した場合、グライダーは正面を向いたままバンクした内側に滑っていくように移動することになる。
If you just use those, the aircraft still faces forwards and moves like it's slipping along the side it banks on.
どういうこと？
What does that mean?
前を向いたまま斜めに進むってことじゃない？
If it's facing forward, it would move diagonally, wouldn't it?
そ
Amane
こで
nods.
同時にラダーを操作
By
してやり、
operating the
旋
rudder
回
at
し
the
たい方
same
向
time,
へ
you can
頭を
turn
向
the
けてやる
nose
んだ。
in the direction you want to face. Like handlebars on a bicycle? Yes. While leaning on a bike, you turn the handlebars in that direction. If you don't, you won't be able to turn well. Using bicycles as an example, leaning the bike left or right is like the ailerons, and the handlebars are like the rudder.
なるほど。旋回したいときはエ
I
レロン
see.
と
When
ラダ
you want
ー
to
両
turn,
方
you
が
must
必要
use
と。
the ailerons and the rudder. And I know I'm
Soda.
butchering that,
けど
and I'm
そ
gonna
れだ
have
け
to
じゃ
learn
まだ不十分
how
だ。
you're actually supposed to pronounce that. So that next time I don't have so much trouble with it. However, that alone is not enough.
旋回中、機体を傾けると揚力
Leaning
が
the
減るので、
aircraft
機
causes
体
a
が大
drop
きく
in
降下して
lift,
し
and
ま
the
う。
aircraft will drop down quite a lot.
なるべく高度を保ったまま旋回するには、
To keep
操
as
縦
much
桿を
speed as
横に
possible
倒し
when
ながら
turning,
少しだけ
you
後
need
ろ
to
に
move
引い
the
てやる
yoke
必要がある
sideways
の
and also back a little. When you turn, you must use all of the axes at the same time. Using what and when looks like it's quite intuitive.
以上。飛んでいる時に必要な操作はこれだけだ。
The only controls you need when flying. After ending her explanation, thank goddess, Amane turned on the lights.
結構簡単なのね。
It's pretty simple, isn't it? From this explanation, yes, which means I hope you are going to be able to try this out yourself.
そうだね。
Yeah, it is. When I heard unfamiliar words like aileron and rudder, how is rudder unfamiliar? Boats have rudders, a bunch of other things have rudders. It's aileron that I have not really heard before. But once I tried it, it was quite easy. Moving the yoke backwards, forwards, left and right, and pressing the left and right pedals, that's all there is
アク
to
ロ
it.
バットでもしない限り難しい操作はほ
As
とんど
long
な
as
い。
you don't try any aerial acrobatics, there are almost no difficult controls. Again, this part of it seems accessible enough. You should at least allow Kotori the opportunity to take it for a spin.
グライダー乗りに必要なのは風を見つける能
The
力な
thing
の。
you need to ride the glider is the power to find the wind. Find the wind?
どこにどんな風が吹いて
Where
いる
and what kind of wind is
サー
blowing?
マルはどこに
Where
あ
the
るの。
vertical drafts are.
そうして見つけた風に上手
Finding
に
the
乗る
wind
こ
like
とが
that
できること。
determines whether you can fly it well or not. So you mean you need knowledge, experience, and intuition.
そんなところだな。
That is correct.
ケーキ類の見方はおいおい覚えても
For
ら
you
うとし
to
て、
learn how to read the
まずは慣
instruments
れるこ
first,
と
you'll
だ
have
な。
to get used to them.
あとはこっちのパソコンの画面で練習してみてくれ。
Again, if this was all going to be used and trained via computer simulation, Kotori could have at least learned this. Instead of everyone just being like, no. Okay, got it. I sat down in front of the PC and started practicing immediately. No offer to let Kotori try? Okay. Club activities have finished and we're on the way home.
あずい。
It's so hot. Ageha is fanning the chest of her sweat-drenched uniform. She sees me looking. Oh, we stop.
おなになに何見てんの。
Huh? What are you looking at? Boobs. You know, you should try to be a little more ladylike. No, you should stop being a perv is what you should be. You should be more gentlemanly. And see, this is my problem. So, like, our main protagonist is not expected to change his behavior and all, but like everyone else has to change. But like, Kotori is getting the worst end of that stick.
しょうがないじゃん。胸が一番汗かくんだもん。
I can't help it. My chest is the sweatiest place.
これって女ら
That's
しいってことじゃ
ladylike,
ない
isn't it? She asks as she carries on fanning herself. I get the slight feeling that she's trying to show me. Oh yeah, like make a really big show of being like, ooh, I'm hot. Take a look. Nice.
ガレージのエアコン弱くない？お尻が蒸れちゃうんだけど。
The air conditioning in the garage is pretty weak, isn't it? My butt gets really hot, it's true. When you're sitting on something for so long, like me on my arcane disc, and it's hot out, yeah, I can relate. Says Kotori as she wriggles her backside around. When it comes to these two, please don't judge them. It's spacious and there's no effective heat insulation from the ceiling. It's like a prefabricated building. There's no attic, and the heat from the sun transfers directly to the inside. Even if we turn on the air conditioning, it only has half the effect.
ロボット部よりかはマシよ。あっちは人数多いからムシ
It's
ムシす
better
るの
than
ね。
at the robot club, though.
I see.
There are a lot of people, so it really gets humid from the sweat. Listening to Ageha's story, Kotori makes a face that says, "Ew."
さてと、
Alright, I'm
私こ
going
っち
this
だか
way.
ら。
We get to the usual fork in the road where Ageha leaves us to go in the other direction.
じゃあね。
See ya! Hey, Ageha.
Oh?
Do you want to get some ice cream from the convenience store? Oh, no. Okay, we better have a better visit to the convenience store this time. The two of you better not act like jerks. And I also see what the writers are doing. They're like, oh, remember? Kotori's favorite food is ice cream and she likes to pig out on it. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna force them to go back to the convenience store, get some ice cream so that Kotori is forced to share it with Piggy Ageha so that the narrative can be like, oh look, she learned how to be a good friend. She offered her ice cream. I'm betting all my gold pieces on that. They better handle the shopping basket better this time, because if they don't, there are gonna be problems.
いいけど、なんで急に？
Yeah, sure, but why all of a sudden? You two were saying how hot it is, and I suddenly felt like eating one. You wanna eat one too, Kotori? You think?
いいけど。
Huh? Yeah, okay. Wow. Kotori seemed to be thinking about Ageha being there when she answers. Again! This is the only reverberation we have of what actually happened between the three of them. Like I said when I was reading through the last chapter, for you lords and ladies, her behavior is a clear indication. She's being shy and reserved when Ageha is there is because of what happened last time. And Aoi seems to have completely forgotten about that, or negated the effect, or maybe not, but then just chooses not to even address it, which would be par for the course for him. Okay, let's go. I start walking ahead. Well, good, at least you didn't just decide you were gonna touch your chair. But let me guess, because it's hot out, Kotori's gonna be like, could you push me? I can feel it in my little teefy tail. But if that's the way they decide to go, I suppose it's fine, because then she would be asking him, hey, can I have help? Because the weather is already hot and I'm really exhausted and I could really use some help. If she does that, and she's the one who asks, then it's fine. I just don't want anyone touching that stuff without her giving permission. Okay, no? Alright. In the convenience store parking lot, I bite into the ice cream that I had bought. Go figure! So you completely skip over that! You completely skip over the convenience store. So I don't have anything to say about it. It's almost like You knew I was gonna be watching to see if you would handle it the same way again. Hanging out in front of the convenience store is one of the privileges of being a high school student. Okay, wait. So y'all are in high school. I guess so. I guess a technical college could technically be a high school. I guess. Ageha got watermelon flavor, Kotori got chocolate chip, and I chose vanilla monaca. Well, vanilla would suit you. You are pretty vanilla, Howie.
ハバネさんはカップ派か。
So you prefer the ones sold in cups, Kotori?
無謀なアイスは途中で溶けて
Ice
きて
cream on a stick
手がベ
melts
タベ
halfway
タするから
through.
好きじゃ
It
ないの
makes your hands sticky, so I don't really like it. Plus, it's probably easier for her to hold something in a cup, too. No, just saying from my own personal experience, I prefer eating ice cream out of a cup than in a cone. Seems like everyone has their own preferences when it comes to ice cream.
ねえ葵、シミュレーターどうだった？
Hey, Aoi, how was the simulator? You were there, you would know. I still don't really understand it. It was pretty tricky. That's on you, bud.
どこがどう難し
Which
いの？
part was difficult? There we go. There we go, Kotori. It seemed really, like, not that hard. You go, girl. It just feels kind of inconvenient, you know? When I think about doing something, I'm not able to do it quickly. The feeling I get when I move it and the speed, it's quite easy to steer though.
エルロンもラダーもエレベーターも
If there's no
風を受
wind,
けなきゃ効果ないもんね。
the ailerons, rudder, and elevator have no effect though. That's right. Using the power of the wind to control the position of the aircraft. Of course, the wind is strong. Of course, if the wind is strong, small movements of the controls have a big effect, vice versa. However, the glider doesn't have an engine. It doesn't need one. You can't easily speed up or slow down, correct, which is why you have to use the controls to try to approximate that. If you do one thing, it affects everything else, and that's what makes it difficult. You can't just think about the current situation. You have to act according to what will happen next. It means that experience is needed to ride this thing.
乗ってて気持ちよかった？
Did it feel good to fly it? Well, to be honest, the simulator didn't feel that good at all. You were watching the screen, right?
うん。
Yeah,
なん
how
て
should
いう
I
か
say?
すごいもどかしい感じだった。
It looked really frustrating.
3D のシューティングゲームに比べると圧倒的に爽快感がなかったわね。
Compared to 3D simulator games, it was nowhere near as exhilarating. Oof. Yeah, that's true.
実際に飛ぶのとはやっぱり違
It
う
must be
の
a
か
lot
な。
different to actually fly, though. I think so. I can imagine that somehow. How would it feel to fly through the sky in that thing, I wonder? It still feels a bit unclear.
いいな。私も飛んでみたい。
It's nice, isn't it? I want to fly too.
シミュレータならやってみればいいんじゃない？
Hello? Thank you. Okay, huh? Why don't you give the simulator a try? You can control everything with your hands. For once, okay, huh? You actually had something good to say.
いい。今は葵くんがやるべき時だから。
What? No, I'm okay. Now is the time for you to do it, Owie. Whatever. Okay. I'll be patient for now. That's what it seemed like she was saying. Well, alright then. But props to Ageha for bringing that up. I much would have rather Kotori to have been the one to bring that up. But whatever. They're making her ingratiate herself to her friends. So, quote, friends. Without thinking, Ageha and I look at each other.
じゃあ早いとこ翼を作って実際に飛べるようにしないとね。
Okay, let's hurry up and make the wings so we can actually fly it. Yeah. If I can quickly become able to fly by myself, I can take Kotori with me. Again, it's a nice thought and a nice gesture, but what would be even nicer is to start putting your heads together to try to figure out, maybe like that simulator, if there's a way you can get controls that Kotori could use in the actual glider with her hands. Hand controls. Because they do make those. I might be getting ahead of myself, but it's good to have a target. And by that, I think he means a goal, something to work toward, that he can feel like a good guy and be like, yeah, I'm gonna learn how to fly so I can take her up in the air with me. As much as I want to like that, I'm still feeling a bit rough about him, but I'll give him a little bit of a break. That is, if he doesn't do anything else that makes my blood boil.
チェ外れか。残念。
I didn't win a prize. Pity. Ageha finished eating her ice cream and threw the stick into the trash can. Wow, you're not gonna bother anyone about sharing their ice cream with you? I finished eating too, so I throw my wrapper into the trash can. Let me guess, Kotori's the only one eating, and she's gonna have to be like, here, Ageha, you can have some. Oh well. Oh, goddess. That is exactly where they're going. Because she's munching along and Awie's going to be like, hey, you want to share some ice cream with your friend? Ugh, gross. Kotori was still eating and hurriedly ate the last of her chocolate chip ice cream. Please don't tell her, oh, you should have shared. Because neither of you shared yours. It wasn't as bad as Amane, but the way she ate kind of ruined her pretty girl image. Owie, for goddess sake. You are insufferable. Then she rushed over in her wheelchair and came to throw the cup in the trash can. Does she think that if she doesn't do it quickly, we'll leave her behind? Probably. She's probably used to being left behind. While we were away from Kotori, Ageha had come up beside me.
気を使ってくれてあり
Thank
がと
you
う。
for being so considerate. Okay, so you're actually complimenting him for what? The fact that he was nice to you or nice to Kotori also? What do you mean?
とぼけちゃって。私とハバネさんのために誘ってくれたんでしょ
For playing dumb, you invited Kotori and I here for our sakes, didn't you? I don't know. Did I? Smooth. Looking at me as I quietly played dumb, Ageha smiled cheerfully.
あ、お待たせ。
Oh, sorry to keep you waiting. Ugh. Well, I can't say that's not valid because I am kind of the same way. Because it's very easy to get left behind by other people when you don't move the same as they do. So I can understand this habit of hers and this way of like interacting. You didn't need to rush like that.
それじゃあ帰りますか。また明日ね。
Okay, I'm off now. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see ya.
さようなら。
Bye. Bye. Wow, sayonara is kind of strong. She could have just said jane, which is more like see you later. We see Ageha off as she waves her hand, and then I push Kotori's wheelchair along the road back to the dormitory. What happened to asking? Okay. Alright, lords and ladies. Well, we have reached the end of another chapter, so I am probably going to stop this ritual cast here. And with that, we are going to leave off on Kotori's words, which will be the start of the next chapter that we read. But for now, I'm going to stop this ritual cast here. And I'm going to save some new data because there was actually a choice for once.
ゲームを終了しますが
And we will quit. And with that, we are now back in my room. So, as always, lords, ladies, and magic initiates, I so appreciate all of you being able to sit tight with me as we went through yet another chapter and actually made some pretty good progress. I'm actually going to go ahead and take out my glasses now since I don't need them. I hope all of you enjoyed us reading through this next chapter together. And with that said, I hope to see you all in my comments down below. And I will see you all in the next ritual cast of If My Heart Had Wings. Until then, I am sending you lots of love and good vibes. Until next time, bye.